late 2020. It took, I think almost, let me see, 2020, 2021, close into going into 2022 before I was able to do things like legally become the administrator. I didn't become the administrator for my mother's property until it was like January 2022. But still, I was here cleaning and taking care of everything and make sure nobody don't steal nothing and dealing with her tenant and maintaining the grounds and all that stuff. But I didn't have the court hearing until I think it was January 2022 when I became administrator of my mom's property. And then after that, everything else was like took so long to do because so many people died. So we gotta look at that. We gotta look at that. It took a while to have all the to put those people to rest and to get the paperwork. You need certain paperwork to actually lay people to rest and stuff like that. So the coronavirus, the amount of people that died did play a role in stagnating the house to be sold and stagnating everything, the whole process, everything got delayed. As far as the foreclosure process, that too kinda got a little delayed. So I felt like when my mom died, and I was in her life, like I was supposed to, or like a mother and daughter. And then when I came back on her, my family was like, why are you here? Or you here? Or look, I just couldn't. I said it before in the video. I'm just not going to walk away from my mother's property. That's what it's like my sister was doing. She wasn't here. I wasn't going to walk away from my mother's property that just sit here. And what? Nah, I wasn't going to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that careless, And on top of that, I'm not that disrespectful neither. So I came on the property to put her belongings to rest. And I'm glad that I did, because I never thought I would come to this type of closing for my mother. And I didn't know that I would really mourn my mother the way I did. So I did love my mom. Hello, viewers. Thank you for tuning in tonight. This is the final episode of the reasons why I had to stop with coaches. So, for those viewers who just tuning into the channel, I'd like to let you know there was a part 1 and 2 before this video aired. This is part 3. You want the full story? You want to see what this was all about? I advise the new viewers who just tuning in to check out 1 and 2 before you check out this video. So if that applies to you, go, 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 go. Okay, to the viewers who hung out with me, supported me, and came this far with me up to part 3 of why I had to stop with coaches. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I want to say I'm not feeling the best right now. I'm feeling a little down. As you can see, I've been moving really fast and I had a lot of work to take care in a very short time. My mom, she did ask me to come to her home before, she died. So, like I told you, she took sick. She was in a nursing home and her and I connected, and she gave me the keys to the house, and she was asking me to come to her house. Anyway, I'm happy that I did come inside, and I got closure for myself with my mother, and I hope she got closure with me. We was at a different level of speaking to one another and connecting. After she died, I mourned my mom for about a year. It took about a year for me to get everything together with her, cleaning out their space in their home, as you can see in previous videos, what I had to do. So once I got finished mourning my mom and taking care and putting everything of hers a way to rest, right? I picked back up BWS. And so the video that you're about to see is me talking about BWS, because BWS for me went in different stages. The stage where I'm at now, even though I've been at BWS since 2016, that was more like creating the company, laying down a company foundation. So this stage right now where I'm at, I wanted a little bit more than a P.O. box. United States has improved their ways of a company renting out space, because before it was like companies that rented space was in Manhattan and they had like a large loft, like a whole floor. But then as time evolved, companies changed. The United States came up with a building with smaller space, and they called it the WeWork office for new businesses coming out, for new businesses that don't have like 20,000 or 10,000 employees. So the WeWork building came here in the United States for us. And then, they branched out in other ways too for businesses to have like a business address. They started coming up with, when I mean them, with the United States or whoever did the WeWork building, made a smaller compact space for a company that's new to rent space for their company. They came out with the virtual offices, and those are really nice too. And they have like semi-virtual office, that's a little different than the WeWork office. So that's where I'm at now in the video. I stepped up from having a post office. I had a post office box for BWS. And let me tell you, the post office box do cost money. But anyway, I wanted to do something a little bit more serious. I wanted more of a company foundation. A little different from a virtual office, but I still got all the perks that I was looking for. That's what the next video was talking about. Hired an accounting team for BWS taxes, because when you have a business, you have to file taxes with the government. If you don't file your taxes, the government could take away your business, and I didn't want the government to take away BWS because I worked too hard with BWS for the government to say, I'm not following protocol and give me some type of penalty. So I had to file the taxes for BWS. And getting all those documents in order for a CPA to docket everything, it took time. It wasn't an easy task. So when people see me and I'm saying I'm busy, they can't understand. Excuse me, my nose is running. So you have to have a website, you got to have the information for the designer to have to create the website. That took time. When you have a website built, you got to pay for illustration pictures. You just can't put any kind of pictures up. There's copyright infringement. If you got any kind of pictures, you have to buy your pictures. I had to also purchase me an additional phone for my own self. So I have a business phone and I have a private phone. And I have to pay every month the bill for 2 phones. I had a virtual office just in case anybody wanted to call and speak to anyone at BWS, and they took the message for me. They hold the packages for me. My mail was accepted somewhere. I had a legal address. I sent out so many of these booklets. If people wasn't interested, if clients wasn't interested, if prospects wasn't interested, if teams, groups, individual people, or the government wasn't interested, they could have just mailed me back these booklets, because it cost me a lot of money to make these. And you got to remember, my income is limited. And when I tell my family, look, I'm busy, they're looking at me, you don't work. Like, how busy are you? You don't have a job. They don't really know. I do have a job. Editing
is a job. Making a video takes time. It's time consuming. It's work.
Did I tell you FedEx? Anytime I go to FedEx, I'm spending so much money. So if anybody want to make a donation to BWS, do know I don't mind taking some money for paper, to buy paper, to print paper. Paper is used for everything in the business, and it costs a lot of money. A lot of money. It's used for a way of communication, delivering, oh boy, paper costs. So if you want to make a donation to BWS, yes, I will take a check for paper. All you have to do is look on the code in the booklet and find the code that has the word for paper supply. Put that code in on your check and, give BWS a call and we can have a Zoom meeting talking about your concern.
I didn't tell y'all. Oh, I said I gotta sell the house, right?
I hate this, packing up. It reminds me of when I was in the shelter. Because when I was homeless, that's all we did was move from one room to another. So by me sitting up here packing all this stuff, kind of pissing me off. Because that's all I did when I was homeless. Stay in one room and you have to always pack up and go to another room if you lose your bed or whatever reason it may have been. So I don't like packing. Because I used to do it. I did enough when I was homeless. And in a way, this is like, where am I going to go? That's a good question. I have to think about that too. Where am I going? I'll tell you one thing. I'm not going back to the Bronx. Remember that apartment I showed you they got me? I ain't going back there. Where am I gonna go? I don't know. I don't think I'm going back to another shelter neither. So I know I'm not going back to another shelter. Cause you know why? New York City got so many HPD buildings, new buildings. I think it's Bill de Blasio. I think it was former Mayor Bill de Blasio. He did a 10-year housing build-up around here in this area. 10 years underneath HPD housing or Section 8 buildings. He did a 10-year plan. That's why we got so many new buildings around here. So with him doing all this brand new buildings, girl, I'd be, if I'm gonna have to go into another shelter. And I'm American too, how many times you gonna keep putting me in the shelter? I'm gonna see if I can get a transfer to one of those HPD new buildings. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Try to get a transfer. Or relocate, because I'm not going back to the Bronx to live in an SRO. I want a regular apartment, where I don't have to answer to no social workers and stuff like that.
But let's move on. Another thing I spoke about is packing. Girl, please, don't ever tell me to pack again. You don't know. That's another thing that got me all balled up. Packing. I did so much packing when I was homeless. So much packing homeless. Oh my God. Moving from this room. Moving to that room. Moving to this shelter. Going to this shelter. I can't stand packing up. I can't stand this. So just the thought of me knowing I had to pack up, start putting stuff up in a storage unit, start packing up our belongings, it really do something to me, So that's another thing that had my mind going, ooh, I don't like packing. I don't like the constant moving. As an American, I should be settled, you know? And that's why I was saying I'm not going back to another shelter system, not when the America is building up so many apartment buildings. Why should I? Why should I? I'm 100% American. I don't know no other country. Why should I have to go to a shelter system just for America? America, our government system need to know how to take care of the American people instead of concentrating on taking care of people who want to become Americans. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't do nothing for the black culture. I'm not going back into a shelter system. You should see all these apartment buildings coming around here. And Mayor de Blasio did that before he went out of office because I'm gonna show you the picture. You know, his name is there. You know, so who you do that for? Who is a lot of the apartments for? Section 8 buildings, HUD building. What kind of buildings are these? You know, who you building up all these buildings for? For everybody to come into America? What about the people who's here? I'm not going back into this. I'm gonna have to fight the government this time because I'm not gonna go long living no doggone shelter. They ain't no immigrants, nobody coming over here living in no shelter. They got all the jobs. We don't got no jobs. I'm just putting it out there. I'm pissed off that I have to move anyway, and I'm pissed off that I have to actually pack up my stuff and put it back in storage again. It makes you feel like you're not going nowhere as a human being, you know? So I just wanted to tap on that. Where I'm going to go now, I really do not know. But I'm not that bummed out over it. You know, what bummed me out was the packing and, you know, that I have to sell and the foreclosure and, you know, it's those things that's bumming me out in a way, you know. But thinking about where I'm going right now, it's not really bumming me out, believe it or not. I don't know if it's the medication talking, if I'm still sick, but I'm not that bummed out because I do know that if I have to, I have a daughter who you know, that's why I work very hard to help her stay afloat. Because I don't know, I may have to go and stay with her, but I don't really want to, you know. And I still do have my apartment in the Bronx, but speaking of that, now I have to go over to the Bronx now and start getting that apartment together. See, it's too much packing. It's too much moving. You know, I don't like it. See, that's what's really pissing me off. So
That's why I don't feel that well. I told you, packing, it do something to me. So I had to go to the Bronx today, and I found a way how to move out from the building that I was placed in from the shelter system. So I have an application here, and I'm going to see if this application can help me move, not into another SRO, but into one of these brand new buildings that's being built up everywhere. Honestly, if this application, right, I'm gonna fill it out and I'm gonna see what's gonna happen. And if this application wants to transfer me to another SRO, I'm not gonna take it. One thing about me, I like to use all my resources, and I found a way how to get out that building and to see if I can get a transfer. And I hope it could be to one of these new buildings that's coming around, popping up all around here in this area. So Oh, we wait and see. Wish me luck.
I'm gonna tell you one thing that I did. See these numbers right here? I did I did go to the bank and I put in a dispute. Yeah, see this? I did put in a dispute with the bank because one thing I was going to talk about with coaches is the things that I had to endure as a writer. And one thing that I endured was getting scammed. You know, you write a book, right? Writing a book is a lot of work. And someone tell you, hey, we want to publish your book. Wouldn't you be happy? Somebody want to actually read it and, you know, they want to publish it and move it to the next level. You know, what writer don't want to invest? You know, and you have to invest to get somewhere. But, so, you know, I was going to talk about that. I was going to talk about when you invest and what happens when, you know, as a writer, you get scammed. I did go to the bank and I did have to speak about the way how I got scammed. You know, it took like about $3,000. $3,000. Marketing coaches, trying to get coaches ahead. That Coaches is the name of the book that I'm in. So I didn't have no money to spend on myself. But you know what? When I sell this house, I'm not going to put any more money in BWS. You know, my daughter, she always getting on me. You putting money in BWS, you ain't getting nowhere. Nobody going to give you no check. Why are you doing this, you know? But I enjoy it. I believe in what I'm doing. That's why I'm doing it. But I made a decision. Once I sell the house, I have some money, I'm not going to put none of that money in BWS. I put enough money in BWS. I hate to do it, but I think I'm going to finally pack BWS up in a box. Because, you know, I did everything that I could do to generate money from BWS, you know, but so far, nothing.